Today we are with Aaron. He's one of the founder of Chaos Print Shop. Aaron, tell us your story. How did you start your business and how did you ended up coming to a craft show like this?
So it started with, I'm active duty military. We did a couple craft shows at my previous base in Japan. And then when we came back to the States, I wanted to get a 3D printer. And so I got one and my wife was like, well, you know what, let's make some stuff and sell it. And it just kind of built from there. We had our first introduction to the American market back in February, and then we found out about Renaissance fairs because we do specialize in a lot of the nerdy stuff for Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. And so we did our first Renaissance festival out in Ogden in May, had a great time. Then we did the State Renaissance Fair in August down in Mona. Had a good time, just it slowly built from there. It started with one printer, now we're running 4 24/7. So it's just kind of gone from there. You know, when we initially started, we looked at the 3D print market. Everything is oversaturated with your standard stuff like dragons and fidget toys and all that. But not many people were doing dice towers and stuff for Dungeons and Dragons. So I myself play Dungeons and Dragons. So we just kind of went with that. We're big nerds. We watch Lord of the Rings. We play video games. Just kind of built from there.
And where do you sell them? Do you just sell them at market? I know you say you have 4 printed one right now.
Yes.
Do you have consignment store? Or?
So we are in a couple of stores as well. We have some of our products down in Level 1 Games down at the Southtown shops. We also have a couple of our products and in Dirt Roads Couture up in Ogden, and we also run our own Etsy.
Oh, you have an Etsy shop?
Yes, sir.
How is Etsy just treating you?
Etsy's been alright. Christmas was very busy, but you know, with any online shop, there's your high times and your low times. So I feel like right now, with just after the New Year and Christmas and everything's going to kind of trend down. You know, everyone spent all their money for Christmas and whatnot. But I expect a big uptick come spring season, heading back into summer with the Ren Fair season coming around.
And so how many craft shows do you usually go to in a year?
In a year, I couldn't tell you, but since we started back in February, March-ish, we generally do anywhere from 2 to 3 shows a weekend.
Okay.
So but me and my wife both run it. We stay very busy. It's not very often that I get a weekend off to just sit around and chill. We're either, you know, here at craft shows like this, or if we're not working, we're at home printing and painting, because that's another thing that sets us apart, is we also paint a lot of our product, where other 3D printers, they just click print and that's it.
Perfect. And when you come to craft show like this, is there anything you do to make sure your booth look attractive to a potential buyer?
So we have kind of a dark, like nerdy type theme with the blacks and purples. We definitely have a niche crowd, but with the nerdy stuff, you never know who's really into it. We just try to stand out as much as possible. We use a lot of our own 3D printers for marketing, like our business sign we 3D printed, and we generally have it on the table. We try to put some of our biggest and brightest products out there first, so that people are like, ooh, and then they happen to see everything else that's on the table as well.
Perfect. So you go to a lot of markets throughout the year, and I think one thing that I struggle with, especially during the holiday season, is deciding on how much inventory to take. Sometimes you might sell a lot, sometimes you don't sell a lot. How do you decide how much inventory to bring to market?
Well, for us, we run out of our own apartment, so we are very limited on storage space as it is. So generally we wind up bringing majority of our product with us. But generally for like bigger markets like this, we'll bring more stuff, whereas we go to like a little market that's outside, maybe we have like a 4 or a 6 foot table, we only take about half of our product, what we think might sell the best, depending upon like who the host of the market is, like the location, if we've been there before, if we know that we're going to have certain customer base that follows us around, because we do have a certain customer base that has followed us around to many different types of markets that they wouldn't necessarily attend just to find us. So,
I mean, that's great, because this customer loyalty is the best, because at least you know you're gonna having those customers come, you know you're gonna make some money. Because that's what one thing I was gonna ask you is, some market you go to, you barely make your booth fees.
Correct.
Have you ever been to a market like that? You didn't bring anything home?
So, actually, funny enough, when we first came to the States and were introduced to the American market, we were based up at Hill Air Force Base. Our first market was down at the Provo Town Center Mall. One weekend, it was like a $75 booth fee for 3 days. I didn't even make booth fee plus gas and food and all that to make it profitable. There are still, to this day, many events where it's like, man, I'm just barely breaking even. And so it's really difficult to vet like the event and whatnot, especially with us doing 3D printing. There's always a lot of 3D printers, especially now. You know, are there going to be any that do what we do, or are we going to have direct market competition? Is it worth it for me to spend the booth fee to go to this, to drive time? Is there another market that would better suit me? Vetting the markets is still very difficult at this point, but again, we are still new. We're still trying to figure out exactly what markets work best for us. You know, is this one we're going to do again? Is this one just completely wrote off? You know, it's a hit or miss generally.
And what is your ultimate goal for your business? What's the future?
Future, self-sustaining. I still am active duty military, so I do still have a full-time job. My wife doesn't work, so she takes care of a lot of the marketing and advertising and booking of the events. But I would like for it to eventually at some point become one of those things that, like, when I get out of the military, it's a self-sustaining thing. I could do this, not have to worry about, you know, am I going to make rent for the month? Basically, have this take over. That's my main source of income.
Well, thank you for your service.
Not a problem.
And where can people find your business? You have a Facebook or website?
We do have a Facebook, or we don't have a Facebook. We do have an Instagram. It is Chaos Print Shop, Kaous, spelled how it sounds. Print Shop. We on all of our business cards we do have a QR code. So if you happen to see us at a market, pick up a business card from us. There's a QR code that takes you to our Instagram, our Etsy, and I think our TikTok as well.
All right, Aaron. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, good luck, my friend.
Thank you.